What's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Extreme Gainz family? I'm Chuck, and this is Extreme Gainz. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say is or ever will be financial advice. Please do not take it as such. Today is Thursday, December 15th, 2022, and this is my AMC, GME, and SPY Thursday daily update and preparation video for tomorrow, TGIFF and beyond. As always, I hope y'all had a great day in the market both yesterday and today. More importantly, I hope you made some extreme gains for yourselves. I'm going to go over some of my regulars, my snake Algo method for all three tickers, and some macro comparatives. So with all that said, let's dig in. Hey, real quick, I'm going to save the side-by-side projection and fulfillment comparisons for Sunday's weekly update and prep. I'm just going to go ahead and breeze through all this stuff. Everything is still intact, still fulfilling as it was projecting. So I'm going to go over all of that briefly, show you what it is that I'm looking at moving into specifically tomorrow, and then I'll save the side-by-sides to do a weekly comparison on Sunday like I've been doing. So without further ado, currently on your screen is AMC and my current intra-week snake. AMC finished the day today down 2.61% in regular trading hours, currently even Steven in after hours, trading at 560. The current intra-week snake is on your screen. In red is the day prior to the previous divergence from and completion of fulfillment of the previous intra-week snake in blue here. And since its original initial placement, it has fulfilled its projection now for 5.5 weeks from start to finish, where we're currently at. Inside of it, you can see there, and you can see what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. From a technical perspective, the same levels are intact. 547 breach to downside, I'll be looking for a move to 503. A breach of 503, I'll be looking for the next support at around 475. However, a bounce off the 547 critical level of support, be looking for a move back up to the 681 macro neckline. A breach of that back upside, I'll be looking at the 790 as the next significant level of resistance. From a macro comparative perspective, as you all know, I have been tracking the macro double bottom from prior to the January 2021 run up for an entire year now. It projected that $5 bottom, which you all know about. Most recently here, we failed to continue to fulfill the projection to the upside up here as it was projecting in that position. However, with the intra-week snake on here, you can see that it is essentially potentially going to fulfill in an inverted mirrored way from that upside projection in a downside manner. If that were to be the case and it were to continue to fulfill the intra-week snake throughout, there is a convergence point back here that it could potentially converge back with the macro comparative for this second bottom before the potential upside fulfillment if it were to continue to fulfill in that manner. So for that reason and in that manner, I think that the macro comparative in this position still stands to be valid. However, I did look at an alternate position of this right here, which in turn, again, projects the exact same thing as the intra-week snake. And I slid that over right now just to show you this would be obviously horizontally compressed as far as the macro comparative goes for this placement. And the offset distance between this run up and what this is showing here is that is the distance that the macro comparative compresses. So when it's fully compressed for this positioning, this run up aligns itself directly with this run up from the intra-week snake. So they are absolutely dead on. For the sake of the video and for what I am looking at in the most recent, I did need to give you some context on that, not thinking that it's showing potentially two different. It's not. When it's fully compressed, it aligns itself directly with that upside move. However, for the purposes of the video, I am just showing you how that projects the exact same thing as the intra-week snake in that position. So that's what I'm looking at with AMC in its entirety. Up next is GME. GME finished the day today down 2.23% in regular trading hours, currently down an additional 0.19% in after hours, trading at 20.54. The current intra-week snakes are on your screen. Red the day prior to, blue the day of the previous divergence from the previous intra-week snake. They both have been being fulfilled here by our current price action for this possible W formation here back upside for the day prior to continued fulfillment. However, we failed to do that, and we did breach the critical level of 2170 to downside, therefore continuing to fulfill the blue day of divergence intra-week snake. You can see the continued fulfillment of it, the position within it, and what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Now, what I typically do on a micro time frame when I'm working the micro intraday snakes is I would go ahead and mirror the day prior to, pull it down here for a potential nuanced fulfillment moving forward to see if it gives me a possible nuanced projection, and it does. So this will be the position that I will now have the day prior to in for that reason, and you can see that it does project a mirrored projection from this bounce back upside, and then essentially all of this is a mirroring of all of this down here in that position. So that is how I will be viewing that moving forward. From a technical perspective, the levels are still intact that I have been talking about. Like I said, the 2170 critical level breached to downside, and I'd be looking for a move down here into the bottom to the next level of potential significant support at 1948 or around 1950. However, if this thing were to catch a midline bounce back upside, I'd be looking for that move back up to the 2170 and that potential breach of 2170 to upside, and then you know the rest, 2525 to upside. And that is everything that I am looking at with GME. Last but not least is SPY. SPY finished the day today down again, down 2.45% today in regular trading hours, currently even Steven in after hours trading at 389.63. The current set of 3 intra-week snakes that I have been tracking are on your screen. Red, orange, and blue. Red is a day prior to only, blue is a day of divergence only, and orange could be either or. So here's the red day prior to only, and in its ongoing position, there it is there. You can see our current location within it and the continued fulfillment of it and what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it in that position. This is pretty interesting. This was posted up on Twitter by a member of the Extreme Gainz family. This was one of the not original placements of it, but back when I had just put it on here after our upside move, this red one here showing where it was placed without all of that price action fulfillment, and you can see where we're at within it now, and then obviously got that downside fulfillment of it. So pretty cool to see that and see y'all sharing and retweeting and tweeting and tagging me and stuff when it comes to this stuff on Twitter. So thank you very much for that. So anyways, that is the red day prior to. Then we have the orange, which would be day of or day prior to, dependent upon if we get a full divergence from one of them here moving forward. We've been tracking all 3 of these since initial placement. And there it is, and you can see the continued dead-on fulfillment of it. It did show a more volatile straight line move to the downside, and that is essentially what has happened the last 2 days. So you can see the continued fulfillment of it, the position within it, and what the projection is from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Then last but not least for intra-week snakes for SPY, I have the blue day of divergence only, and in its straight up position, you can see where it was placed right here, projecting the exact same rejection off of the descending level of resistance. You can see the continued fulfillment of it in this position and our current location within it and what the projection would be from it moving forward into tomorrow and beyond if price action were to continue to fulfill it. Then from a technical perspective, I talked about this top build out, top up, neckline down scenario. Can't draw a straight line if my life depended on it. Neckline down scenario, the neckline at 391.92. However, I emphasized in the last update and prep video, the level of concern for me to downside for a potential macro translation to downside here would be the 390 price level. We have temporarily breached that 390. So from a macro perspective here on the 4 hour, we've breached that trigger level to downside, pulled back for the confirmation retest. Now, what I would like to see to downside here would be a continuation release off of that level, therefore confirming that continuation of fulfillment and fulfilling the confirmation and continuation setup there as it currently looks like it may do. So the 390 is currently breached to downside. If it were to give me that continuation push off to the downside, I would be ultimately looking for it to move the whole way back down here to the critical level of support between the 350 and 355 price level. Obviously, there's going to be some stops along the way, but that will be the ultimate move that I am looking for this to fulfill if it were to confirm that breach and that downside translation to macro time frame. Then, however, if it were to breach that 390 level back upside and retake that to upside, I'd be looking for it to reclaim that neckline at 391.92 to upside. And then next would be the macro ascending level of support, potentially turning into resistance. And if that were to happen tomorrow and we get that neckline breach of 391.92 to upside, I'd be looking for about a 394 level of resistance if that ascending level of support were to turn into resistance, and most likely it will if price action were to do that. A breach of that to upside, then the next level up I'd be looking at would be up around 398. So that is everything in a nutshell that I am looking at with AMC, GME, and SPY, moving into specifically tomorrow and beyond. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you all very much. I greatly appreciate it. Good luck in the markets tomorrow. Make some extreme gains for yourselves. I'll have the weekly update and prep video out on Sunday, so look out for that. Have a great weekend as well, and I will talk to you all on the next one. Take care, y'all. Later.